If you have been asking if healing is real,
stick around and find out that healing is for real, and we don't mean maybe. My name is Tony.
and I am Zane, and we are two witnesses and representatives
Of the miraculous gospel of healing. All right, so today we are on part 3 of Hindrances. The topic we're going to talk about today that is a hindrance is the belief in Satan. That's a huge difference.
the great and mighty Satan.
It's a huge interest. Let me explain why and why I see Satan as a huge hindrance, and that is because people have such a strong belief that he can give you sickness.
That belief so strong that I think we could actually train the word reverence.
Yes.
Yeah.
I do. And when you speak against the belief of the devil, you get tarred and feathered. Twice on Sunday. And the truth is this, Jesus walked on the water. I know that it's true. But hold up now. Think about this. We have Peter walking on the water, and we have the visual of him just looking at Jesus, right? But then he looks at the waves, starts to sink, and then he looks at Jesus again. The problem is most people are looking at Satan and never looking at Jesus.
Dang.
That's the problem.
That is a strong
We talk
statement.
more about, most churches talk more about Satan than they do about Jesus. Look at any Sunday sermon.
Yeah, boy. There's a point.
All you hear about is what Satan is doing.
There's a point there, Tony. There's a serious point right there.
That's why so many people are sick, because they believe that Satan can make you sick. Now, and I'm going to say this for both of us.
Right.
In our viewpoints here at the Miraculous Gospel of Healing podcast, Satan is a title, not a person.
Exactly.
We are speaking from most of y'all's viewpoint that Satan's a person. When it comes, that's why it's a hindrance. And then you've got these beliefs that you give the devil an inroad, that you give him legal rights to give you sickness. If you believe that, is that not no wonder you're sick?
That's a serious point there, Tony. Satan, this whole idea of Satan. No, I mean, it's something that people should start to question, because the Bible says that if we remove the idea, if we actually just consider the idea of Satan and Satan being independent of us, right? Because that's what we believe, that his existence, we don't have any impact on his existence. His existence because God allowed him to be there. That's how they're treated, right? Then by saying that, what you are saying is that God is not light. There is darkness in him. Because what you're really confessing is God is light, but just in this corner right here, you have Satan, which represents this inherent evil. And if that is the case, then God is not one God. We have
Correct.
two gods.
Exactly right. Now, all over scriptures, I am the Lord your God, the one true God.
Mm.
So if you believe the whole scriptures,
Mm.
right? I hear preachers say this all the time. I believe the whole scripture. I believe the whole Bible. There's only one God, so there's no room for a Satan as a person. Not only that, but look at this. Jesus declared, decreed, and believed, I have been given all authority,
Whoo! Whoo!
both in the heaven and on the earth.
Whoo!
So wait a minute. Then how can Satan be the ruler of this world?
Mm. Mm, 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 mm. Here's one to add to the bucket, which is where it starts. You believe that Satan came in to the garden like a mercenary,
Mm-hmm.
right? No, let me just put some logic to the context, right? Yeah. Yeah. According to the ancient Hebrews, God creates. He creates man. Watch this. Man creates the garden, which is called heaven and earth. Yeah. There is no aspect in the creation, in the narrative, that speak about mercenaries outside heaven and earth.
Right.
Right? Which means that everything is within the realm of creation. Now, as far as we see the text itself says that there were animals created as helpers, as the first line of helpers, which means the serpent is an animal. So he belonged to the category of helpers. And therefore, we must understand that if there's a helper and man was representative of the word, which is thought, make flesh, then he was created to be the creator of thought, and the helper was supposed to be the receiver of the thought, which means the serpent in the garden is not a mercenary. So therefore, who created the Satan here? The title is man, who did exactly what Holy Brother Tony just said. Peter did it on the water. You're looking at God, then you switch your eyes to something else, and then you come back here and say Satan following you. No, you create that problem right there.
Exactly right.
You create the scenario right there that is actually now reasoning you out of God. And I love Tony, I love how you actually refer to that, because this is a topic that we could just do separately. That the Bible actually says, the prophet Isaiah says that when you're walking in God, that your face have to be like flint, like rock, solid, right here, don't move. Peter's eyes wasn't flint. Move across so, and he started to sink because he considering something that he created across here to be logical, whilst he walk in God. And you're totally right. That's what most believers are doing.
And that's when what is underneath us becomes above us.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because now we're putting our faith in something, one, in the case of Satan, that only exists as a title.
Mm.
Now, in our own mind, we created a person who is God's opposition. How
Yeah.
do you get opposition to the one and only true God?
That is not even logically making sense.
Correct. That's
logic.
why we're having this conversation, because when you sit there and you get rid of the rationalization and get rid of what you've heard all your life,
Yeah.
then when you're carrying on about Satan and the devil, it makes absolutely no sense whatsoever.
Zero sense whatsoever.
And it takes cognitive dissidence in order to continue to believe it.
Yeah. No, even if you look at it and we understand, I just want to reinforce before I just go on with this point to what Holy Brother Tony just said here, that this is a title. Anything could be given that title. Anything could be given that title. And therefore, if anything is given that title, you are the one that is actually electing what you give that title to. And for some of us, it's Satan. This is how it's actually pronounced. We say Satan in English. For some of us, it's Satan. Could be a doctrine that contradicting life and peace. For some of us, I don't mean to rub you wrong, but for some of us, that could be the doctor report. For some, could be a family. For others, you could make these things around in your life, your career. Not that anything is inherently wrong with it, but you made it your Satan. And it's because you've taken it and you've given it a reverence that does not belong to it. It only belongs to God. So it's just as Holy Brother Tony was saying, what you literally did, the thing that you fear is the thing that you worship in. Ooh, I'm feeling a little Pentecostal vibe come up in me.
And that's absolutely right. And then we have, well, the moment you became a Christian, you got mark on your back. Satan marked you with a big ol' X. Wait a minute. I'm in God's kingdom.
What's Satan doing in God? Oh God! Hey, these things just not logical way.
Right. Whose are you? If I'm Christ's, nothing can put an X on my back.
Yeah.
Nothing
100%.
can make me a target.
100%.
Now, we can be targets for other people, but then guess what? How do you defeat evil? With good.
Yeah.
So an atheist hates me and comes up to me, but then they get healed. Guess what? Now that atheist is on Christ's side.
Right.
The whole problem with mainstream Christianity and the cosmic warfare, you can't have warfare without hate.
That's true.
And what happens? The hate spews onto people. I don't care if you want to sugarcoat it with, well, God hates the sin, but he loves the sinner. And so, yeah, but the problem is that hate is reflected to that person by you, the Christian, as supposed to be love. How do you know a disciple of mine? By his love.
Preach.
But
Preach,
the way we have this cosmic warfare, and it's God versus Satan, Satan versus Christians, it is hateful that we put onto the very ones we are supposed to be bringing into the fold, not running off the fold.
That's why and it is very important, and even on that specific note, for believers to understand that your ministry has been clearly defined in the New Testament. In 2 Corinthians 5, it says you have a ministry of reconciliation. That is the definition of your ministry. You know what reconciliation is? Let me just explain what reconciliation is there for them, Tony.
Please explain. Please explain.
Right? Everybody like money. Let me use money to explain reconciliation. Let's say we have 2 bank accounts, right? And one bank account, something happened to the bank account and you lost your money. So it moved from $1 million to $10 in the bank account. Right? One bank account is therefore greater than the next bank account. To reconcile the bank account is to bring it back up to $1 million so that both bank accounts are the same. If we only have $1 million, if we have $1,000,001 in our bank account and the next one have $1 million, then it is not reconciled. We need to put back the cent. Therefore, the ministry of reconciliation is understanding that God has reconciled man back to God. They have been brought back to God's status. And your ministry is to go and say, hey, do you know that you have been reconciled to God? Do you know that you have been brought back to being a divine being? Do you go into the bank if you have your ministry's reconciliation? Do you go into the bank and antagonize the bank? No, if you have to reconcile the account, you need to put the money back into the account. So tell me, holy brother, why are we out here trying to play Satan? Why are we doing that?
I don't know. You tell me, most holy brother Zane.
I don't understand that.
You know, and then we've got all these, like I said, these sugar-coated sayings that, oh, the devil, he's got power, but he ain't got authority. Then you've got the legal rights.
Dang.
Oh, if you sin, you give the devil a legal right to give you a disease.
Wow.
Nonsense, people.
Wow.
That is utter cow's dung.
That is what it is. Call it for what it is. It is what it is. It is dung.
Because I'm in God's kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
I know Zane realizes this. Most people don't realize this. Even prior to Christ, in God's eyes, there was already restoration. Why? Because Christ was slain before the foundation of the world.
Yes, sir. It was
your divinity never left.
Yeah.
We just didn't know we were divine. But yet, well, you can't be healed because you're living in sin. And all of these sacred cows,
yeah,
traditions of man, all that hogwash, Jesus disproved them in his 3.5 years on this earth. He disproved every one of them already. So why do we not leave them dead and buried where Jesus put it?
You see, it's the sacred cows of self-righteousness.
Yes.
You want you are still standing outside of the garden, trying to be superior to others. And you stand up there with your stick of self-righteousness and saying, I have Jesus. Ha. And
you don't. Na, 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 na.
That's what you're doing. That's what you're doing. I want to read something here, right? This comes from Malachi chapter 2. And this, if this don't shake you out of your mindsets that you are special because you have Jesus, I don't know what is. Now, Christ has made us all priests. Right? In Revelation 1, it says that he's made us priests and kings, or priest kings unto unto his God. Now, as a priest, the purpose of a priest is represented in the scripture. I went to Malachi chapter 2. Listen to this from verse 5. My covenant was with, now this is speaking about Levi, the priests, the tribe of Levi. My covenant was with him of life and peace. So what the priest supposed to be doing? Life and peace. It's shouting and saying, na, 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 I have Jesus, life and peace. No, I don't think so. And I gave them to him for the fear with which he feared me. Is it fear Satan or fear him? I don't understand yet. We probably need to make a decision on that one too. And was afraid before my name. Okay. The law of truth was in his mouth, and iniquity was not found in his lips. So what is it? What iniquity is he talking about? It's coming up. He walked with me in peace and equity. Equity. All right, hold on to that. And did turn many away from iniquity. So iniquity is a lack of equity. Okay. For the priest's lips should keep knowledge, and they should seek the law at his mouth, which means the law of equity. For he is the messenger of Yahweh of hosts. Now, what is equity? Some of you might know what equity is, so I'll give you a definition. Right? I'm going in Collins Dictionary from the UK. And this is what it says. Equity is the quality of being fair and reasonable in a way that gives equal treatment to everyone. Ruminate.
Wait a minute. Equal treatment.
Equal treatment. Equity.
To everyone.
To everyone.
Even if they're not a Christian.
Even if you're not a Christian.
Damn blasphemous words, brother. Blasphemy, I tell you. It's the truth.
What kind of blasphemous priest talk we talking here?
Look, you can go, and this should say it all right here. And that is that the transgression was not greater than the gift. The gift is greater than the transgression. So whereas the transgression affected all mankind, so much greater is the gift.
Well, I don't think people understand that statement you make there, you know.
Hello.
They actually look over it purposefully, to be honest.
You are absolutely correct. They do. They just
look
right over. Wait a minute. Everybody was affected. We teach that. Everybody was affected by the transgression, right?
Right.
So therefore, how do you get greater than the transgression? Except, guess what? It affects everyone, irregardless of your status quo.
Yeah.
Because the gift is greater.
1000%.
Now, we may not realize it. So are we living out in fullness? No, because we don't realize it.
Yeah.
But that
100%.
doesn't change that we are divine in nature now. That doesn't change it. It's simply we don't know it.
You're divine in nature so much that if you go to Revelation 1 to 5, Jesus calls the leaders, or the what we would call the pastors of the 7 synagogues, 7 churches. He calls them the 7 spirits of God.
Yes.
You really believe Satan can come and touch the Spirit of God? That even making sense to you, right? What's funny? We are on time here now. So what I think in particular is the one thing that we should leave with the listeners, to not leave them. Hey, what's in it? What is the one thing we should leave with the listeners on this topic? To make
This is
sure
what I want to leave you with.
they didn't sleep tonight until they reconsider it.
Is to understand that Jesus has truly finished it all. The only thing that is lacking is our believing that he has finished it. If we think that there is something keeping us, we think that there's a force outside of us trying to enter us. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Is we think there's resistance. There's only resistance that we create by our belief.
Yeah.
And I hope that Zane and I have shown you that there's no possible way that there's a spiritual being called Satan.
If God is truly equitable, because equity and love are one and the same in the Bible. Let me say that again. Equity and love are one and the same in the Bible. Let me say it one more time. Equity and love. Love is equity. Equity is love. It is no way that God, who is love and who is equitable, should create something that you have been taught exists to come and pursue you, to come and do you stuff. Then God is not equitable. He's a liar. Drop the mic.
True word.
Drop the mic.
So,
Right,
so what you do with this? Instead of getting mad and angry at Zane and I and trying to turn February, okay? Instead of doing all that, accept that truth. With the acceptance of that truth, that will give you monumental freedom right there. Now you know there is no pushback. So therefore, guess what? You can have your healing now. There is no resistance to it.
Yeah.
You can wake up healed. So sleep on that. And that's a bam.
And boom. Zane Pierre and Tony Myers, ruffling your feathers for your own good.